Hey, what's up? This is Maeve Maiden, and I just wanted to do a quick video. Well, I don't know how quick it'll be. It might be, we'll see once I start talking. But I was drawn to do a video out here in nature today because I have the fortunate ability to be able to do so. I'm very blessed to live where I live right now because of all that's going on in the world and kind of being, I wouldn't say I'm separated from it, but I do have the ability to kind of get away from it sometimes. This is a kind of a cool place to hermit when it's necessary. And if you don't know what I mean by hermit, I just mean get away from the chaos of the matrix life, everyday life. I have been feeling like this for a long time, but it seems like a lot of other people are starting to get it. And actually what's cool is that I watch a lot of different spiritual teachers. I'll just call them all teachers because in every way we are, right? And students and people who are becoming teachers, people who are becoming students, people that are wanting to learn about knowledge, spiritual knowledge of the other worlds, other realms. And I'm talking about all realms because we can't acknowledge the light without acknowledging the dark, or vice versa. We need both. In this time-space reality anyway. There's going to be a lot of little bugs buzzing around me, which is fine, as long as they don't bite me. But what I wanted to say was that I see a lot of people who are speaking on things that I have believed for a long time, but I just didn't have the ability to speak it or communicate it. And what I wanted to talk about real quickly as well, while I'm on that, is that I've always been, well, a part of me has always been guided to feel that thing is just drawing bugs, I think. Just taking it off. I've been guided to be a healer, and I never knew in what capacity I was going to be healing. And I wanted to talk about that because we think of healers and we think, well, they've got to be doing something like Reiki or something physical, right? But what I wanted to talk about is energetic healing, because that's what I do. I don't put a lot of thought into it even, it's just something that I was born with. And I know there are going to be people that are non-believers. Let's face it, it's hard to imagine that this is possible, right? If you're not already of that mindset or type of thinking, then it will be very hard for you to get. So I get it. And I'm not expecting everybody to understand. Especially those who are very much of the physical realm, they'll never really get this. And that's why I've been having to isolate myself, because most of the people that I have, who were in my life, don't get that capacity or that gift. They don't understand it, okay? And it is very hard to explain to a layman or someone who doesn't have esoteric leanings or a spiritual base. And I'm not talking down on anyone. I'm just saying that there are different schools of thought and there are different people. We all believe what we believe in different ways. If I say something is absolute fact, there's going to be somebody who's going to counter that and say no, because XYZ, right? So truth is different for everyone. What I've been asked to speak about is my truth. And I'm putting that here. I'm putting myself out there vulnerably to say this is my truth. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to say anything about it. If you disagree, that's fine, and you can say that as well. But I know what I know, and it's in my birth chart. It's in my birth chart to be a healer. It doesn't mean I have to go out here and be a surgeon to be a healer. And I certainly don't have to be a Reiki master, whatever. But I have been noticing it. Hey, okay, that little guy's very interested in me, some kind of little bee, a different kind of bee. I notice it in my hands. So at first I was like, well, maybe I am meant to be a Reiki teacher because, or a Reiki provider, I guess you would call it. What do you call that? Reiki instructor? I don't know. But I started feeling the energy in my hands. And it's like whenever somebody's very cruel or mean around me or to me, I feel it in my hand. Now, I've always had this ability to feel when someone's in pain. I can feel that. And I remember sometimes I'll talk to my kids about this. My kids are getting older now. They're in their 20s. I mean, my son's still a teenager, but, you know, my kids are a little bit older. So I talk to them a lot about these kinds of things. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but I talk to them. And I was like, don't you ever have that feeling where you know somebody's been hurt and you either see it or they explain it and you can feel it? And my kids were like, no, we don't get that. And, you know, I've asked other people and they say, no. I mean, yeah, I sympathize with someone when they're hurt, but I don't feel it. I can feel it. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's shooting energy in that area. It's swirling energy. It's pulsating energy sometimes too. It either pulsates or it shoots or it... So anyway, I get this pulsating, sharp feeling in my hand when someone's mean or cruel to me. And it's like, I get this heat first, and then it gets a sensation of a swirling and, yeah, so anyway, it's really hard to explain, and people don't really understand it or get it for the most part. I'm sure maybe somebody who watches this will get it, but people in my circles don't understand it. So they don't get where I'm coming from. And, you know, this is why for the most part of my life I've been very much an introvert and tried to isolate myself from a lot of different scenarios, situations, whatever. When I'm in crowds, I remember one of the first times I noticed it that was really standing out and making me very different was, God, I'm afraid things are going to crawl up. Because I have a skirt on, but I have shorts under it. I mean, I have a dress on. We were out with family. My family was really close growing up. I'm part of an Irish Catholic family growing up. We used to spend every holiday together. We did a lot together, especially on like winter breaks, summer breaks. We would spend like almost the entire time together. So I remember we all took this trip, and we even have a picture of it. We went down to D.C., and it was called the Old Post Office in D.C., I think. Old Post Office. And we went there for lunch, and I remember freaking out. My mom was always wondering what to do about me because I was so out there. I was so different. I wouldn't just be like the other kids, and she just didn't get it. And this was just another incident where she was just completely frustrated because I wasn't just sitting down and eating like everybody else. I was like, no, I can't be in there. And I couldn't explain to her why I couldn't be in there with all the crowd of people. I couldn't explain to her because I didn't know how to even verbalize it back then. I mean, we're talking like when I was like 10 years old, 9 or 10, 11 years old maybe. But I mean, it was clear that there was something seriously wrong to her. That's what she thought. But, you know, this was just this gift that I had, and I was suppressing it you know, because I was feeling the energy of people around me, and it was a large, crowded space. There was a lot of energy, and it was too much for me to handle in my little 11-year-old body. And I mean, this happened a lot, you know. I couldn't be in crowded places. I couldn't be around a lot of people. I always got anxiety. And, you know, I remember another time distinctly when we were all at the beach. We used to rent out like a big beach house, and we would all stay there. And I was like, Mom, how long are we going to be staying here? And she was like, a week. And I was like, no, I can't do it. And I started freaking out. And it's just one of those things that I've experienced for a long time anyway. And so now that I'm, you know, an adult in my 40s, I'm becoming more in tune with it. And I don't know if I can really say I can necessarily say for sure like I'm a star seed or one of these things. It's possible, but I am just, well, I know I'm not me. I mean, I know I'm, you know, I'm a divine counterpart to spirit. Spirit works through us, and I feel I'm guided to work this way on this earth. There's a reason why I have this. But I've struggled with how to use it in the physical, material world. I have not been successful when it comes to integrating it into that aspect of my life. Well, except with the exception of my kids. You know, I do spend a lot of energy with my kids. I think that's why last year I got this inkling that I needed to separate from my kids because my gifts were needed elsewhere. This was the message I was getting. And instead of doing that, I ended up reverting back to my old ways, and I went back to an ex, and I really didn't answer the call, basically. But now this year, as scary as it is, I'm telling God I'm answering the call to be in service of spirit, because that's what I came here to do. I've always been different. I never wanted a regular life. There's a part of me that does want, you know, comfort and security. Obviously, I just want my kids and myself to have our basic needs met, but I don't need a big mansion, you know, with cars and, you know, all of these elaborate things. I have just asked that we can have the basic needs. And I think that's all anybody really wants. I mean, no, I'll go back and say no. There are people that are greedy, but I don't come from a space of that. And I never have. I have had everything that I've needed all my life except for the emotional aspects, and I'm fulfilling that in myself now, and I'm learning how to do that. So I guess the reason I wanted to make this video was just to talk about healers and how we have to take care of ourselves first and foremost. Other people will call it selfish. They will. They'll call it selfish, and they'll say, you know, you really just always look out for yourself and all of this stuff. But for months and months and months now, I've been called to drop the burdens that aren't mine. And I'm doing that. And so I hope that whoever's watching this can understand that they have to do that as well, especially if you're a healer. You don't need to take on things that you are not meant to take on. Now, when it comes to kids, obviously, that's different. You know, these are my kids. They're getting older. So like I said, I'm being guided to allow them to leave the nest, you know, and that's hard to do. Especially because I have grandkids now. I have grandkids, and I wasn't expecting that. That really threw a wrench in my plans too. And, you know, I did have a relationship that I cared about that I had to walk away from. You know, when I look back on it, it was toxic. It was time for it to end. And it wasn't getting healed. It wasn't all of the effort we were both putting into it. It wasn't getting fixed. It wasn't getting any better. You know, it was getting maybe a little tiny bit better, but not the way I needed it to be, for me to be able to do what I came here to do. So I just wanted to do this video to say to other healers, I hope you're taking care of yourself. I am going to spend the rest of this time here in nature, just kind of hanging out here in this beautiful, lush, serene Garden of Eden that's in my backyard. I mean, it's just sometimes unbelievable that I actually have this. And I have to appreciate it because I believe I'm being called to move, and I'm going to be moving away from here, and it's going to be totally different, a totally different environment. But I have to appreciate this while I can, because it's just remarkable that this is the earth. And you know, when people try to say anything, I mean, I know there are bad things going on, but like, this earth is still beautiful. We can't just throw it away and say, well, we got to throw it away and start over. I mean, I've heard that. I don't know if anyone watching this has heard it, but I don't believe that. I believe that we can save what's here. I think we need to take care of it. If everybody would just take what they need and not more than that, we could solve the problem tomorrow. But, you know, there are people that believe that they deserve more. I get it. If you feel like you've worked hard and you want to have 10 cars, then then that's what you believe. But I think that's pretty disgusting, and I don't like that. And I'm going to keep saying that till the end of the day I die. I mean, I just don't believe that's right. I don't think anybody has the need for more than one house, or more than one car, or more than one whatever, but that's my belief. I can have that. I can say that. I think that we're having shortages and things are happening because people are taking more than they need. And I think that was evident when we had the whole toilet paper thing, and now with the baby formula. People are just buying things up because they want to then sell it for more money, and that's wrong. That's greed, and that's wrong. And karma is about to be dealt, and I believe it's going to be handled appropriately. I don't believe God deals with karma. I don't believe God is punishing anyone or will punish anyone, but I believe the natural cosmic law will be responsible for dealing karma. And I don't want to be on the bad side of that, so I'm going to keep doing what I need to do, heal when I can, help those I can, take only what I need and nothing more from this earth. And that's my message. So I hope you're well. I hope you're blessed. I don't have a catchy little thing to say on every video. My Capricorn sun wants me to. And trust me, my Capricorn sun wants me to go get like a corporate job and start making money and buying Teslas and stuff too, and stocks. But my Sagittarius North Node and rising is like, no. You were meant to be a mystic. You're supposed to be a healer. You didn't come to be a material owner of anything. So I'm going to keep trying to do my part. And I appreciate you stopping by my videos and channel and checking me out, because like I said, you know, my channel isn't for everybody. It's very whimsical, eccentric, whatever you want to say out there. But I think I have a voice, and I'm going to continue to put videos out that I want to put out, not for likes or popularity. Just because I think there are other people that feel like me. So I'll continue to put videos out for people like that. And in the meantime, stay safe.